Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for another Cricut tutorial. Today we're making a decorative towel and we're using heat and bond and these gorgeous fabrics from Riley Blake through Cricut. These are part of her quilt series available at Cricut.com, and we're using Heat and Bond Light by Thermoweb and some dollar bin tea towels from Target. I'll have all of these products linked in the description below this video, and now let's jump into the tutorial and get started. First thing you're going to need are some tea towels. I got these in the Target dollar spot. It is March 2018 and these are currently in the dollar spot for $1. They're out for the Easter holiday and they often have these out for different occasions. But any kind of tea towel will work. That's just what I'm using. The next thing you need is a strip of fabric 3.5 to 4.5 inches wide. It really depends on how long you want your ruffle to be, and if you don't have a serger, I would stick with a wider strip. If you do have a serger, you can get away. Mine is 3 inches and I am going to be serging it. So you can see I already put the ruffle on one end of my towel, so I'm going to put a ruffle on the opposite end. Your strip of fabric needs to be the length or the width of your towel times 2 to 2.5, even 3. It depends how ruffly you want it, how full you want your ruffles. So you can see I had that folded in half and it is the length of my towel times 2. So you want to start by folding the short end over about 1/4 inch and press, fold it over again 1/4 inch and press. And then you're going to do the exact same thing to the opposite end. This is just getting rid of those raw edges on your strip of fabric so that we don't have fraying. So again, I'm just turning it under 1/4 inch, pressing, folding it under 1/4 inch again, pressing, and now I'm just going to stitch right across that end. Once you have stitched across both ends, you're going to, if you have a serger, you're going to serge right along one of your raw edges. If you do not have a serger, go ahead and fold this down 1/4 inch, just like we did on the ends, and then fold it down another 1/4 inch and press, and then stitch it just like we did on the short ends. And you're going to want to do that on both of your long ends. If you're using a serger, you can skip this folding it down and just serge along one of your long ends. So I'm going to serge one long end and we'll be right back. So this is what mine looks like right now. I serged one end and one end is raw. However, if you are folding yours under, yours should be looking something like this. Both ends are going to be folded under and pressed. If you serged yours, you need to go ahead and fold up that serged end 1/4 inch, press, and then run a stitch right along there just to secure that edge up. That's going to be the hem of your ruffle. So I'm going to press this down 1/4 inch and then I'm going to stitch it. Again, if you rolled your edges and pressed and sewed, you can skip this step. This is only for those of you who are serging. And you can see I have now stitched up the hem on one side. I still have a raw side. If you did not serge, yours looks more like this right now. And that's perfect. Okay, so now both the sergers and the ones who sewed their hems are going to run a stitch right inside one of the long sides of their hem. So sergers, you only have this side to do it on. The other ones, it doesn't matter which side, but you're going to go right inside your hem. You're going to leave some long tails on your machine, and you're going to use the longest stitch length that you can use. Mine is a 5 on my machine, but you want to make sure that stitch length is as long as you can go and leave some long tails at the beginning and end of your stitching. So I stitched mine at a 5.0 and it already started to ruffle, but if yours didn't, don't worry. You should have long tails at the end. Like I told you, there's 2 on each end. One is coming out of the top of your fabric and one is coming out of the end. You want to take just one and gently, you don't want this string to break, gently pull on it and start ruffling your fabric. You just pull on either the top or the bottom. You can't pull on both. And you do it really gently until you have your fabric ruffled up to approximately the length of the towel. Now this takes a little bit of maneuvering and you just keep moving your ruffles around. And then you want to go ahead and pin it on one end, pin it on the other, and then secure it all the way down. But make sure your ruffles are pretty much even. They don't have to be perfect by any means, but you want to make them pretty even. So I am pinning it on one end, then I'm going to pin the other, and then I can start moving those ruffles around to make sure that they're more even. And now I'm just finishing up my ruffles. You want to put a lot of pins in this because this is going to want to move around under the sewing machine. I would even put more than this, but for the sake of the video, this is what I'm going to do. And now we're going to run a stitch on towards you on the inside of your basting stitch that you just made the ruffles with. Make sure you turn your machine back to a 2.5 stitch length. Okay, so now I have secured that down, and this is what our towel is starting to look like. For you sergers, you're going to serge that raw edge, and for the other sewers, you can just run a zigzag along that raw edge if you just want a nicer finished look. I'm going to serge mine and be right back. So this is what my serged finish looks like. I love the serger for that reason. Again, if you sewed it, you can just run a zigzag instead. Now you're just going to press this down nicely. If you have any loose threads, this is the time to pull them out. And we're just going to run a top stitch right above that ruffle. And now we're finished. If you can see your basting stitches, you can go ahead and pull those out. Now this towel has the ruffles on both ends. The bunny towel that I did does not. I only put them on the end that has the bunny on it. So that's up to you, but I wanted to show you how to put a ruffle on, and now we'll jump over to the bunny. Okay, you guys have seen me do this part 1,000 times. We have our piece of fabric that we're going to cut the bunny out of. I'm using Heat and Bond Light. I've cut a piece of Heat and Bond Light approximately the size of my fabric, and I'm putting it rough side down on the fabric, paper side up. So I'm putting the rough side against the wrong side of the fabric, and then I'm just ironing it for a few seconds until it's fused to the fabric. And then we're going to let it cool for just a second and remove the paper backing. It's important that it cools before you try to remove this backing, or it'll pull the adhesive right up. You can see once you remove that paper, you've got a shiny side to your fabric. That's actually going to be adhesive once we iron that back up. Next thing you're going to do is place your fabric right side up on, you should use your pink mat. I grabbed the wrong one over here by my video recording area, but you should put this on a pink mat, and you're going to put it pretty side up, Heat and Bond side down. And you can see just how beautifully the Cricut Maker can cut out these fabric appliques. It cut out this bunny with no trouble whatsoever using the Cricut Maker rotary blade. You're just going to place that on the towel where you would like it, and then you're going to apply a little heat with your iron, or if you have the Cricut Easy Press, this is a great time to use it. It only takes a few seconds and you're done. Now if you plan to wash this, you would want to stitch around those edges. Heat and Bond Light is not meant to go through washings, but if you're just using it as a decorative towel, you will be just fine leaving it just like this. And I just hand stitched the little pom-pom on the bunny's bum just to make it a little bit cuter, but that's definitely up to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought this was a lot of fun and turned out really cute. Again, if you're going to wash this or plan on washing it, you need to stitch around the edges of your Heat and Bond applique. I've linked all of the products I used in the description below this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Visit me on my blog for more photos, LoriNunamaker.com, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.